The Roman Empire gave us roads, aqueducts, and some of the most unhinged rulers in history. Today, we're counting down the top 5 craziest Roman emperors, from horse-loving weirdos to guys who burn cities just for vibes. Let's dive in before they declare war on you. Number 5 on our list, Elagabalus. He became emperor at just 14 years old and instantly went off the rails. He married 5 times, including to a man. He held lavish banquets where the food was served backwards dessert first, or made entirely of beans. He released wild animals into the dining room, not for entertainment, just for chaos. Once, he dropped so many rose petals from the ceiling that guests literally suffocated under the flowers. And that's not even the weirdest part. Elagabalus wore more makeup than a TikTok influencer, loved dressing in women's clothing, and allegedly asked doctors to perform gender reassignment surgery in the 3rd century. Historians still debate the accuracy, but either way, he openly defied Roman gender norms and referred to himself as the wife, or even the queen. To top it all off, he even made a dog a government official, and his fashion choices, wild. He wore makeup, wigs, and dressed like a goddess. The Senate, horrified. The people, confused. Us, honestly impressed. At number 4, we have Domitian, the man who ruled Rome like a mix of Big Brother, a Bond villain, and your most controlling ex. Domitian came to power after a chaotic period of civil war, so he decided Rome needed order. And by order, he meant total domination. He built a police state wrapped in togas and marble. He forced people to call him Dominus et Deuces, Master and God. Not joking. If you didn't say it, you risked your life. And if you did say it with the wrong tone, also bad. He banned satire, punished people for astrology, and surrounded his palace with mirrors so he could catch assassins sneaking up behind him. Spoiler alert, didn't work. He still got stabbed multiple times. Oh, and he wrote lists of people he suspected were plotting against him, then checked them off one by one. You didn't want to be on Domitian's to-do list. But here's the twist. He was actually kind of a good administrator. He reformed the economy, raised soldiers' pay, and built massive public works. People outside the Senate kind of liked him. At number 3, we have Tiberius. He started out as a competent general and an okay-ish emperor, and then he was like, you know what? I hate politics. I'm moving to an island. So he ditched Rome, packed up a small fortune, and relocated to the island of Capri, where he built Villa Jovis, a literal cliffside pleasure palace. But this wasn't your average retirement. This was dark, twisted, billionaire, reclusive villain energy. Ancient historians claim that what happened on Capri should probably stay on Capri. And by that, we mean he filled his pools with naked kids trained to swim between his legs, held parties that would make modern crime documentaries blush, had statues made of himself doing things that aren't exactly museum-friendly. Was some of that propaganda? Maybe. But even if half of it is true, it's yikes either way. Oh, and when he got bored, he'd execute people by having them tossed off cliffs into the sea. Then, just to be sure, he had soldiers waiting below to beat them with oars. Yeah, don't Google Tiberius Capri party. When Tiberius finally died, at 77, people were so relieved they partied in the streets. And the guy who took over after him, Caligula. So, yeah, from bad to totally bonkers. And for second place, oh boy, it's time for Caligula, Rome's favorite chaotic gremlin. First off, Caligula reportedly declared himself a living god. He had temples built in his honor and demanded worship like Zeus himself. And if you thought that was just arrogance, wait for it. He made his favorite horse, Incitatus, a priest, and supposedly planned to make him a senator. No joke. He fed Incitatus oats mixed with gold flakes and even had a marble stable built for him. Now for the wildest part. Caligula declared war on the sea. Yes, the sea. He ordered his soldiers to march to the beach and stab the water with their swords. Then he made them collect seashells as spoils of war. Imagine the look on the Senate's faces. But Caligula wasn't just eccentric, he was brutal. He threw lavish parties where guests were forced to watch gladiatorial fights, sometimes involving his own family members. He was notorious for public cruelty, executing senators on a whim, and bizarre sexual behaviors that scandalized Rome. And finally, the goat of Roman insanity, Nero. You know the story. Rome burns, and Nero plays his lyre while the city goes up in flames. Nero became emperor at just 17, and at first, things weren't so bad. He was popular with the people through big festivals and lowered taxes. But soon, his thirst for art, power, and drama spiraled out of control. When the Great Fire of Rome broke out in 64 AD, rumors swirled that Nero started it himself. Some say he wanted to clear land for his massive new palace, the Domus Aurea. He forced senators and nobles to attend his musical and theatrical shows, sometimes for hours on end. Leaving early? Death sentence. His cruelty didn't stop there. He allegedly ordered the murder of his own mother, Agrippina the Younger, after she meddled in politics. He kicked his pregnant wife to death in a fit of rage. He even married a young male slave named Sporus, who looked like his late wife and publicly called him wife. As his reign dragged on, Nero's extravagance bankrupted Rome. He built massive palaces, hosted wild parties, and lavished money on his personal entertainment, all while neglecting the empire's needs. The Senate and the Praetorian Guard eventually turned against him. Facing rebellion, Nero fled Rome and famously declared, "What an artist dies in me." His death marked the end of the Claudian dynasty and plunged Rome into a chaotic civil war. And that's our wild ride through Rome's craziest emperors, from the reclusive horrors of Tiberius to Nero's fiery finale. Which emperor shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this dive into ancient madness. Subscribe for more history with a twist, and I'll see you in the next one, where we uncover even more unbelievable stories from the past.